The year 2020, I'm making a video review for every new movie I watch, whether in theaters or at home, and on September 19th, I watched Give My Regards to Broad Street. Welcome to my year in movies. This is talking to myself. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you understand that I have, strong feelings about the Beatles. And in a word of how I feel about Paul McCartney specifically.
Paul McCartney?
Were I unwed, I would take him in a womanly fashion.
Because I'm pretty?
Because you're pretty.
But listen, as much as I love him, and as much as I believe that he is a musical genius, as he said when he played Pyramus in the Beatles' rendition of the Play Within a Play for Midsummer Night's Dream, you can't win them all, and that's okay. So what do you do? Let's just think about, what do you do if you're Paul McCartney? It's 1984, you have had global success with 2 bands. You have a wonderful wife, you have beautiful children. What do you do? What do you do with your time? You just turned 40. What are you doing? He wanted to make a movie. He wrote the screenplay for this movie that's honestly kind of like A Hard Day's Night. It's meant to be like a day in his life, but it's kind of a fictitious, fantastical rendition of it, because Paul is a very big ideas guy, and this whole film is just a very big ideas approach to what he's doing. It's kind of Walter Mitty-esque in a way too, because despite the fact that you're a global rock star, there's still doldrums, there's still dull parts of your day, you still have to go to meetings, and this movie is meant to be an escape. They're working on a new album, they have all of the master tapes, and someone who works for McCartney and his band was a former convict, but he's on the straight and narrow now, and he has the master tapes, but they're supposed to turn them in by midnight, and he hasn't, so it's a mystery, and it's okay, fine. Does it all come down to a misunderstanding? Yeah, but Sir Paul McCartney was not knighted for writing screenplays. I can appreciate someone making a movie because they want to, and it's something that they remember doing 20 years ago and having a lot of fun with it and wanting to try their hand at doing it. I think people who are successful in a lot of different ways, it makes sense for them to want to try and be successful in other ways, and I can appreciate that. Is it basically a Paul McCartney concert with some sketches thrown in? Yeah, there were a couple scenes from we're gonna do another song. Okay, which is fine, because honestly, those are the better parts of the movies. It thrives on those musical sequences, I have to say. There's a particular pastiche that certain 80s films have. I can't totally put it into words. It's something slightly cheesy, something slightly corny. There's a grain over the film. It's one of those things where it really does come down to, you know it when you see it. This film has that thing, we're playing Eleanor Rigby. Awesome. Love that song. We're in the 19th century. What? I don't know. Is it a metaphor? I don't think it is. Paul looks really good in the sideburns. The sequence goes on for a really long time. 7 minutes or something. I didn't even keep track of how long it took. Can we not? It just felt really long. But if I had an opportunity to dress myself up in 19th century gear and just run around a film set, I'm gonna do it. That's the thing that I appreciate about this film, is if I had the money and influence, I would have done the exact same thing. And that's okay. It is fun. Roger Ebert said, skip the movie, buy the album. It's harsh. The album is really good. The songs are really good. And it shows that Paul McCartney continues to be in top form as a songwriter. But I liked the movie. It's charming. I feel the same way about it as I do about Greatest Showman, where it's regardless of how I feel about the quality or presentation, I can appreciate that this is something clearly being made by someone who is invested and wants to do it. And it's like seeing local theater. There's no budget behind it at all, but it's a lot of fun. I don't know, it has this rainy day quality to it, and that's all right. We're about it. It's got a performance from Ringo also, and both Linda McCartney and Barbara Bach, Ringo's wife, are in the film as well, and that's a lot of fun. The whole time I'm watching, I'm just what is this? What is happening? It was fun to watch. It was definitely not a waste of time, certainly longer than it needed to be, but again, for the music that we get, for the fun that they're having, and for the just invention behind it. I think there's a conceit with vanity projects that I think this could be, swept under the rug as it's just a vanity project, but it's not quite. Madonna and Mariah Carey have done vanity projects. This isn't quite a vanity project, because with films like Evita, or films like glitter, sparkle, glitter, glitter. It's meant to only make the star look good. It is meant to be an easy way to be seen as a serious actor, but also not looking bad. And it's not that Paul looks bad in this movie, but he also doesn't look like spectacular. He looks like a regular guy. Like, for goodness sakes, he wears a Hawaiian shirt and just like baggy pants the whole movie. He's just like a chill dude in the movie, and I'm about it. It was a fun time. Not necessarily like what I'm going to recommend to everybody, but if you're a Beatles super fan like I am, and if you just want an excuse to look at Paul McCartney for a couple hours, there you go. But yeah, give my regards to Broad Street. Cool. Nice that I found it for free. That's always a plus. But yeah, it was really good in its own way. This has been My Year in Movies. Thank you for watching.